You'd argue that AL the strongest out of the LPL despite not being the top dogs, the top seeds. This has been a good year for them so far. Let's see if they keep that train running against the best team in League in 2025.
LPL support seems strong in the arena today. I mean, why shouldn't you be? Top Esports having a strong performance at this tournament as well. It's just the question mark surrounding BLG. But AL, I think a surprise to many. I think a lot of people would have put HLE as the favorites. I mean, I put HLE as the favorites into the AL matchup yesterday.
Yep.
And it was a very close game.
It was one of those games you get excited for because both teams kind of ended up just sending it right. It was
absolutely.
It was like that little micro difference, like who's got the better hands, you know, by the 25-minute mark.
Terrifying.
Viper's Kai'Sa was nuts.
It really became a game
so
of
good.
Will Viper win the game or not?
But maybe Flandre again on the rec side is going to be fantastic too. He was great yesterday. Now he starts off with an armbar onto Canyon. He's relying on the auto. Shanks pokes up with a threaded volley. A 2v2 continues. Ruler backing off as he went for the lane swap up in top. Flandre is going to see him there, and Tarzan goes back to farm.
Looks like Tarzan starting with his Q. The amount of damage that it offers is not the greatest, but the swap coming through from Gen.G means that this Kai'Sa gonna avoid what is a difficult 2v2 matchup. We know that the Alistar really doesn't offer a lot in the early levels.
Oh, Canyon's going Wolf straight to bot. He's gonna be spotted on a ward on Raptors, Vedi, but this is a different type of path, leaving top cams for now.
Yeah, the thing about it is, so Gen.G
not spotted,
opting for a similar approach to what we saw in the CFO game, which is to split the map and to try and make the Kai'Sa feel much safer. But now on the top side of the map, this Tarzan is hovering. Kyle looking for a roam into mid lane as well. My goodness, the way they're just passing through the video. Chovy's cautious though. He knows that Kyle is missing on the map. The ping has just come down. I don't even think he spotted him.
He just knows because again, the movement comes up and in an isolated 1v1, Jura also hovering with Canyon just in case.
Okay, so
nicely done.
The reads from both teams already at a very high level. The reset going to come through from Tarzan. Picks up the longsword, makes his way towards the bot side of the map, which means that after this next clear, he can immediately start pathing back up towards the top side. Canyon having to take this somewhat awkward path, but he will now pick up his red buff. Meanwhile, Ruler feeling very safe on the top side, hoping the same position. And
he's not safe in mid though. Duro's coming in, headbutt pulverize. Might be fine as he started walking back on the progression of Duro getting to lane.
Chovy already with the CS lead, and the minion wave is pushing towards him. Shanks.
Kale's back. He's back. This mid lane is going to be a heavy focus, isn't it? Duro's on the other side.
When you have all these swaps, right, the supports have got a lot of time.
They do.
Andre will grab that cannon minion. Here we go. The Observer struggling to keep up with
which lane?
All the supports. Looking to make some magic happen on the Rift. Kyle, though, level 3. He's a full level up over Duro.
Duro hasn't been in a lane of experience in quite a while. Stun misses, but does not the seismic shove. Damage onto Chovy's close. Tarzan, Audacity, flashes match. The auto, no, it's first, but to Chovy, with Shanks getting the return.
The flash timing from Chovy was perfect. Remember that when you do the dash into Q on Kiana, that Q will just follow the enemy champion as Flandre gets a knock up.
There is good damage, but for Ruler, he spaces it out. Flandre is going to be able to heal this up, and Ruler's okay as well with Lethal Temple up. Flandre is not continuing the play.
Yeah, I'm hoping we do get a replay of what happened in mid lane, simply because that flash timing really was just perfect from Chovy, forcing the overcommitment from the side of AL, allowing him to trade 1-for-1. Really good stuff there from Chovy. As both these teams already at the start of this game going toe-to-toe.
I mean, there's been so much roaming already, as you said, with the lane swap. Duro's now finally in a lane, so he should absorb a bit of this experience as Ruler got to level 5 solo, and that's why now he's a level ahead of Hope. But it does look like as he moves up to top lane, things are going to continue as...
We look back at this replay as well.
Yeah.
And we can see that Chovy, the flash timing was just so exquisite from him, forcing Tarzan to stay underneath that tower just long enough to be able to trade back. And they're able to make it work, so very good stuff from him. 1-to-1 on the board. And now AL threatening the mid-wave once again.
Tarzan helping KL, or rather KL helping Tarzan get this invade down too. And Canyon with his strange pathing through early game. It meant that they knew this Raptor timing consistently with the ward coverage that AL provided. Canyon does catch up a bit, now gets up to that level 5 himself, and Tarzan, while he has an EXP lead, CS is about a camp behind as he starts dragging off.
Really Dragon going to come through from AL, as you highlighted, and now in the 2 versus 1, Flandre has to play a little bit safer. That minion wave not really in the best position. But AL's bot side feeling pretty comfortable, all things considered. Have a nice, healthy CS advantage, favor of Hope. Dragon going to be uncontested, as Canyon really can't do much in this position. They don't have the numbers. First objective secured.
Okay, Dragon's on the board. Let's wait for these grubs, as while the laning phases have been interesting, we're going back to as normal does in some of these lane swaps. Vedius, I am noticing that Keen has benefited quite a lot of having Duro in that early lane. Flandre, however, as he steps back up, he's not going too great in the CS department. 20 CS behind, and while this cannon minion is helping him push towards him, get some of that CS, it does feel like AL's top laner is struggling for resources as he picks up the Tiamat.
So in terms of XP, though, he's in a good spot. He's going to be able to catch this bot wave, and Hope is going to catch this top one. So I think all things considered, AL aren't too upset with the current game state, but you are right. It's Keen that currently sits with the advantage for Gen.G, and Tarzan with the advantage on the side of AL for now.
And I mean, we haven't talked about it. It's obvious to our global audience, but if you've been under a rock, Keen on Cassante, pretty good.
Pretty good.
I think Orcs would say pretty good, but I can't do an Orcs voice, because I'm Australian. Duro, engage onto KL. Support v support, but Duro's taking the brunt of it. Phosphorus bomb flashed away from. Flash match by Hope with the Gatling gunning. Autos gets a kill, but now in a 2 versus 1 in trouble. Wind becomes lightning, sends him up, and the 3 talent strike. Hope is about to die. Meanwhile, Tarzan's ulti comes off with a good route too, and a seismic shove. Shanks is saving the play with KL, getting a wall hit. Chovy close to dying too with a threaded volley at max range. He runs for his life, but Tarzan helps get that mid laner on the board.
It's AL that come out on top in the skirmish as just a constant back and forth. It starts off with the bot lane of AL just getting a straight up 2v2 kill.
Is this going to be a TP flank? Rule is stepping up to the plate. Shanks with the seismic shove range. Duro avoids it, but it did look like we could potentially
in a really awkward spot here. He's very low, hasn't had an opportunity to go back to base. Meanwhile, Hope already pathing towards the bot side. Ruler has done a good job, but remember, there's about a 15 CS difference between the 2 AD carries, but he's been able to claw that back. We look back at the replay, and it was an engage initially from Duro. The heal is popped very early. Hope then flashes in to follow, securing the kill, but then the round warp allows for Chovy to arrive that much quicker to the fight. The junglers get involved, the mid laners are, and then we're back to live.
We are back to live. Canyon on Tarzan in the pit, forces his flash. Away he goes, and Tarzan now separated from that objective. Gen.G picked up 1, now 2, and all 3 grubs come back to life.
Nice setup from Gen.G, not really giving AL that opportunity. Shanks staying around on the top side of the map. Now resetting, provided Gen.G with the numbers advantage that they needed. It's still a very even early game. A small gold advantage, largely because of Kyle, I will admit, but still a very even game state. So right now with no major objective on the map, it's going to be back to farming, focusing on getting these plates where the teams can. And it's an interesting situation because these swaps have really changed the dynamic of like how you can leverage this early power. That's a big reason why pros really love lane swaps in general. It's because you can play those weaker laning champions and get them through what is a rough laning phase. And it's what we saw in that top side is a great example of what this bot lane would have experienced if they played a traditional 2 versus 2. Corki's early power is nothing to scoff at, and it would have made that matchup very difficult. So getting Ruler out of it, and knowing that Keen can play relatively safely in a difficult matchup on the champion as well, meant that overall Gen.G had a very safe early game, even if AL had all these pushing lanes.
People also forget about Poppy's base damage, which feels really nice as Keen gets a flick back. Onto Flandre, this is a fantastic trade. Flandre's going to try and heal some of it up, but King gets a couple of grasps out of it as well. With the Sheen, with the armor that is enhancing the Natofo strikes, Keen's going to pick up a plate as well.
Keeping my eyes on Chovy, who keeps moving into that top side fog of war. Threatening the round warp and the possibility of a dive. No full tank just yet from Flandre. Means that he will be susceptible, but now back to farming. Supports on the roam once more. Another swap comes through from Gen.G. They want to try and punish Flandre, maybe even set up for a dive. There's that Chovy in the fog of war again. The pressure, you can tell.
5 top.
Flandre feels the pressure. Is he going to walk away from this tower, though? There's the round warp.
It's going to come in quick and fast, and with the engage from Duro, Flandre up against the wall, the help from Tarzan. Supreme display of talent stuns too, and Gen.G with all 5 members, 4 in the gank. Can't kill Flandre.
TP going to be used to get back to mid lane. Chovy wants to protect as many plates as he can. Now it's AL's turn.
Disengage from Kyle. He's got to keep his verdict out. Duro interrupts for the time being. The shove is not into a wall, so Gen.G, 3 of them, meanwhile, in top are going to run back from the turret. Shanks was here. He walked up. He did not use the wall. And that keeper's verdict, because it was interrupted, goes on a bigger cooldown.
I mean, credit to AL.
Awoo.
Sorry.
Did
I
you
heard
just...
the sound effects and I thought that something else was happening on the rim.
Awoo.
My bad, my bad.
Okay, Betty, what were you
My bad.
say?
Sorry. Those are the noises I make. Those are my thinking noises.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm glad you clarified. Those were the noises I make. Good one.
Now I'm flustered. Good job.
You flustered me when you said awoo.
The point I was trying to get at was 5 members committed by Gen.G to set up a collapse. We saw a lot of that happening because of Chovy's movements into the fog of war, that constant threat and the use of the Rise ultimate. But AL didn't really get much by responding. We saw Hope get a few more plates on the bot side of the map, but it's not really converted into a huge amount of gold for him. Now the Dragon setup in favor of Gen.G, they've got the better push on the bot side, but Tarzan has arrived. Kyle threatening the river with the level 6 over 5 of Duro means that it's a bit of a risky fight to take on the side of Gen.G. And now it's AL that reclaim positioning, and it looks like they're going to be the ones to start this one off.
Now, quick correction, if we do get a fight, KL does have that ulti up. It looks like it was the spectator bug. With the interruption, he still has it there, and it definitely hasn't been a minute and a half or a minute 40, however long.
Oh,
so
I actually thought that it was cancelled.
I thought it was.
CC cancelled.
Unless I have no sense of time, Betty, we'll find that out later. And Flandre's just going to tunnel back into top, try and get this cannon wave, while double dragon for AL is a very serious start.
Chovy being in a side lane just means that he opens him up for more farm, but
it's happening in fog of war.
Right now it's Shanks that is kind of Chovying, as now they threaten to dive on the Keen. This is always a risky thing. Diving Keen is no easy feat.
No, it's not, especially on Cassante. Supreme display is there. And
oh my
Tarzan
goodness.
flashes away. Seismic shot connects. Keen responds likewise, but Ruler finds Tarzan before he goes into fog of war himself. Shank's going to poke out. Ruler gets flicked back, but no. A flash away to disengage. Keen still gets poked out, but diving at Cassante, no, Gordon Ramsay wouldn't put that on his menu.
But I mean, it's also diving Keen, and the craziest thing that Keen did in that dive was he CC buffered the Kiana ult.
He did.
Like, the timing on that was absolutely exquisite. Bought enough time for Ruler to arrive. And we've been seeing a lot of swippy swaps from this Gen.G bot lane, moving top, moving bot, but the timing of Ruler's arrival allowed him to pick up his first kill of the game. Gen.G, they weathered the pressure coming through from AL.
They've done a good job of stagnating the early game as best as possible, something we talked about in draft as well. And especially you highlighted at the start, Betty, with the swippy swap, Ruler has been able to get to his first item a lot quicker. Be in line here with this Corki. And what I'd say is one of Hope's favorite champions at the moment, especially throughout this year. And they're quite even outside of the fact that with that kill, and Ruler, I believe, getting a plate, he is 300, 400 gold ahead. As Coinbase Gold Grind, hello.
Seeing the difference between the two mid laners here, and you can tell how even it is. With the CS advantage going ever so slightly the way of Shanks. The game slows down. We take a moment to breathe as we expect the team fights to be legendary.
Oh, yeah.
Herald are going to be spawning in 30 seconds. Itemization, couple first items completed across the board. I'm looking at Keen though, and I'm like, ooh, that's already a scary Cassante. Will they have the damage to get through? And with the Trinity Force done, you expect Hope to have a lot of damage. Canyon now clearing through his jungle. The pressure that AL is putting down is nice. Looks like first tower, and that should be the feats of warfare. Feats of strength secured.
Nice. Okay.
Another small advantage gain for AL.
And again, the only thing they've lost in this game has been those grubs early with the fight with Tarzan needing to flash out. But outside of that, the early game's been strong enough. Shanks is in with a 1k gold lead, having gotten that first turret bot. And as Herald has now started, remember they're is a TP from Flandre if he needs to back or rather reposition. For now, people moving from AL, they are going to be late for this, Betty, so I don't know why I'm talking about it.
They're going to be too late.
A wreck site, this is gone.
I mean, Gen.G is so fast at starting up these objectives. It's something that I love seeing from top teams where they kind of... Sometimes they start an objective not with the intent of completing it, just to test your responsiveness.
Yeah.
And often, like, if you start it super fast... Ooh, hang on a minute.
Tarzan is fast. Tarzan's real fast. Onto Canyon, he'll get stunned up, and there's a double into the wall. Kale's gone deep, though. A two-man headbutt. Pulverize and Gen.G have torn AL asunder. As Shanks comes in with the Weaver's Wall, he's cut off Gen.G in response. A seismic shove on the Cal, and he goes into the pen. Shanks will pick up that kill while Flandre absorbs top. Keen has just altered, and AL get a response for that Herald.
So AL wasn't happy with how fast Gen.G started that Herald. They said, no, 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 we're going to get something back for that. They move into the enemy jungle. They catch Gen.G unawares.
Use missed. Kale now has no ult for sure this time as last cone taken to get out.
Oh, I mean, I was going to say, like, in a great position. As I noticed, Ruler actually has the gold advantage. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it's Shanks with a 1.1k gold lead over his lane opponent. Coming into this matchup, I definitely wasn't expecting that to be the difference maker. But right now, it is Shanks and Tarzan that sit with a lot of AL's advantage. Shanks moving off to the side lane. Overall, really nice punish onto Canyon as he tried to secure his blue buff. And you're seeing this like single target chain CC combo that they have available to them. The knockback that's available from the Talia, the CC into the wall from Kyle, the root that comes down from Tarzan. Like the pick potential on this roster feels very scary to have to deal with.
True. And because Tarzan's one in control of it, that's what's even scarier. Like, yesterday on the Pantheon, I think was a big reason as to why they won Hummer Life, and I feel like every time I talk about Tarzan, it's hard not to be like, well, it feels like this guy's the reason that they got here. It feels like he's the reason they won this game, that game. Like, if you go through LPL, you know why he's the best jungler at the moment, and it's taken years. It's taken the Shy apparently as well as stun up against the wall. Tarzan has already popped his ulti. There's the headbutt pulverize from Juro. And KL gets a little bit of damage down, but it's Ruler who gets hit by Hope in the mid lane in the meanwhile. And it's all for this Dragon, which will make number 3. AL healthy enough to continue the contest as Gen.G moves to River first.
I mean, they've already gotten the ultimate out from Tarzan, so it's a more favorable fight for Gen.G as the poke is being traded. Tarzan doing what he can. Bases will come through from the top side of the map as Shanks wants to get back to base. Maybe he has an item upgrade. TP going to quickly come through, and there it is. The Leandri's finished ahead of this fight. Nice purchase. But Keen also on the way.
Tarzan with no ulti. Will they continue? AL in a dangerous spot as Tarzan can't get poke over the wall. Shanks will start off with the threaded volleys as well. Flandre and Tarzan from one angle.
Collapse is looking good. The root from Tarzan doesn't connect. They turn onto Flandre.
The engage is not bad, but Flandre is a tank. He'll take a wild die. The Weaver's Wall spreads thin, but it might actually help Gen.G on the Dragon, trying to burst it down as Ruler who gets into the pit. The poke out in the meanwhile. KL with the disengage. Dragon's exposed. Dragon's exposed and stolen. Keen gets sent away by KL, and the fight will ensue. Jumping forward is Canyon with now the ulti popped as well. Keen jumping forward, getting the flip onto Shanks. 2 down, 3 to go as Gen.G look for the chase. They'll find Hope up next as Flandre sacrifices his life to save the rest, but Hope still might not be able to the woods as Ruler follows up with the killer instinct, locks in the triple, and Gen.G lock in.
They call him Keen Sante for a reason. Once Canyon gets knocked out of the pit, there's no smite available, which means that AL immediately look for the fight. But Keen is doing his best to zone them away. 1 versus 2 is making it as difficult as possible for Tarzan, but Kyle with a monster play. Ultis onto Tarzan though. Keen tries to get pushed out by Kyle. He gets a 3-man knockback. On a Cassante, flashes in, forces the flash out from Hope, and this allows for Ruler to clean up the fight. It is hard to underestimate how much impact Keen had in that fight to allow for Ruler to walk away with a triple kill.
And you look at Flandre at the end, he tries to flash in and, you know, save his 80 carry's life. But it wasn't enough in the end. Ruler held on for so long, 4-0. While third Dragon was stolen, it is the cost of Gen.G scaling that little bit faster.
I mean, Ruler's now 2.1k gold ahead. Like, the setup is complete. Ruler, a man that you can trust to carry games, is now in a position to carry the game. AL are going to have a tough time of shutting him down. But again, we expected the team fights to be crazy in this game. And how tense was that fight? The positioning was absolutely crazy. Kyle finds an angle to get a huge ultimate off onto Canyon. And ultimately it was, like, I've never seen a 3-man knockup like that on a Cassante. Just beautifully played as the top tower falls. And now we kind of enter the state of lull once again. Chovy moving off to a side lane once more. Arakan will likely be the next point of contention, but Gen.G will be hesitant to hand over the soul.
Chovy, he's going to face check. Flandre's got a tunnel out, but here comes Ruler again with a killer instinct. Flandre tries to get out with a number over the wall, and that tunnel won't save his life. Ruler with number 5. Arakan's on the other side of the map, but who's going to burst it down?
Unstoppable now for Ruler. Going to move back over towards the mid lane. It's about a half a level over his AD carry counterpart in Hope. And it feels like this game is already kind of done and dusted, to be honest, with the position that Ruler's in, with the front line that Gen.G have. AL having to navigate through these fights. It's going to be a tough one. Chovy likely going to secure this tower, as it doesn't seem like there's anyone in position to respond. And remember, there was a 1.1k gold lead between the two mid laners. Now it's Chovy with a 400 gold lead of his own.
Yeah, we've definitely been, as Realmwalk comes in, Chovy gets out. That was the edge of it.
Right at the edge. If that root had come through, likely would have resulted in his demise. Flandre now taking over to level 13. He's also a level down. And it's crazy how a single fight has just completely flipped the game on its head. AL are going to have to find a crazy team fight in order to gain some control back over this game. And it's Ruler that they need to find a way to shut down.
For now, 130 till the Soul. If AL are going to be able to stem the bleeding, you know, you talk about the scaling here, how worrisome it is. If AL want to speed the game up again, an earlier Elder, a Soul would do it. Put them back in somewhere near the driver's seat. A minute 15 till that. Arakan could be a trade, but obviously Gen.G, no way they're trading Cloud Soul for Arakan. Flandre's going to move on top. That's a TP as well. Maybe trying to force because you have the leverage of Soul, as AL are committing a lot of resources to controlling topside.
Dragon in a minute's time. A lot of vision, you just highlighted it. So much control. Gen.G right now want to focus on Arakan. They're just going to melt through this.
Tarzan backed. Tarzan actually just backed, so...
No way they can contest.
That's gone.
Unless AL can get a huge Poppy ultimate off, TP's going to come through. They're looking to contest this, but it's already gone. Too little, too late. Arakan locked in for Gen.G.
Oh, but Shanks is really fast. I believe seen in the vision there at that point. Ticket seismic shot though, almost connecting. Canyon just out of the way. A close call, but no Cigar is onto Keen. I don't know how you're going to kill the Cassante without the Corki nearby. Shanks needs one big pick as TP comes in from Chovy. It's a 5v5 around mid. Now highlighting the Drake in 15.
Soul could be the difference maker. It is AL that have control of the river, but they've completely exposed this mid wave, and Ruler's going to melt it. Off the back of that, Flandre has to go and answer, and now Gen.G have gained purchase on this bot side. You'll notice as well, Chovy going the long way around. Ruler is quick behind him. They're not even going to bother contesting this. Instead, they're just going to come in through the bot side. Chovy now in a great flank position with his ultimate available, and Keen on the left side. Gen.G with a nice setup. AL, how do they approach this?
They're asking the same question. Dragon going to be started again. Gen.G using Ruler, but he doesn't commit for the time being. Juro's taking a little bit of poke, but that's all it is. A little bit here from anyone's legends. As Chovy hovers around the outside, there's the Weaver's Wall to separate. Looking for the pick. Keen separates two, but the Poppy ult will only find one. It's onto Chovy for now, running in towards the Dragon, but it's at 4k. It ain't stealable as Keen pops the ulti. The all out there. He is getting poked down, and Shanks is sending away to the Supreme Display. Will find the mark on the side, and Ruler jumped in to a Poppy with a steadfast presence. Dragon stolen, and the fight for AL taken away. Kyle, this pick pays dividends.
The arena erupts as AL shut down Gen.G in the fight. They needed to find the fight to turn this game around, and what a way to do it. Keen on the flank is their target. They're trying to chunk him out as much as they possibly can. Shanks is cautious of Chovy on the flank. This ultimate separates the fight, making it difficult for Ruler and Chovy to get involved. Canyon goes in, he gets chunked out. Oh, Ruler also gets caught off in the Kyle ulti, so he feels confident to go into the fight. Keen gets chunked out, he's forced to disengage. Chovy gets good damage. Ruler sees an angle when Duro goes in, but then he gets knocked up. The reaction by Kyle. The Baron is secured as well. And just like that, AL's team fighting, they showed it to us yesterday. They showed it at MSI. They're just an incredible team fighting team. But Kyle, what a beautiful performance on the Poppy.
It must sting Gen.G to be denied by the Gen.G Challenger support of 2021. The Live Sandbox, the now AL. This guy's developed this year. If you saw him last year in anyone's legend, you'd think, yeah, he's mid-tier, maybe even towards the bottom tier. Now KL, regarded as the best support in the LPL for a reason, the development arc of this guy you haven't heard about, but now you must. In this Poppy, at 7 out of 8 KP, in this one game versus Gen.G, AL, because of him, have now secured the Soul. The Baron you mentioned before, gold is even, but the fights are feeling more confident from the LPL second seed.
Gotta still be careful. TP flank from Key. This is a deep flank coming through.
Tarzan going first. Kyle with the ulti again. Finds another market. Chovy once more. Jura getting burnt out with the ult from Canyon. He'll be isolated and everyone can jump in with ease. Flandre's now joined in as well and Gen.G have immediately lost two. The Flash of Roll are gone as well. As Shanks Weaver's wall won't find a target. It's still another big win for AL.
The TP I think was too deep and Gen.G went in too aggressively. The TP gets zero value off the back of that. Another tower will be secured. And look at how the momentum has shifted. It is AL that is driving forward this game.
We're worried about the scaling, we're worried about Gen.G weathering the storm, but there's a new one approaching for AL. Vetti.
How has Tarzan held on to a gold lead this entire game? He was like 0-2
Tarzan,
for most of the game.
It's Tarzan. He's been fundamental as well, but
I mean, his ultimates have been good. There's no question about it. But really, like, Kyle is the MVP of this game without a shadow of a doubt. The ultis that he has been connecting, the follow-up, like the stuns into the walls that he's been able to find. We go back to, like, the top play that happened between the two bottom lanes. It is he that is finding so much magic for this AL squad. This Keen Sante, I was worried for AL. It felt like that he was an immovable wall that just would not be stopped. But now it feels like that they found a weakness in the armor and they're continuing to press forward. The Baron still remains strong, 20 seconds left. Another tower soon to fall, but the rest of Gen.G quickly arrive.
Hoke is big as well. Let's not forget Hope as Keen and Chovy back off and the turret goes down with a 3,000. Now the lead. The base has not been cracked off this Baron power play though. I'm sure Red Bull might get another one here at 4.5K. That has been the influence that AL have taken away from it. 2 minutes till Elder, 3 till another.
And while it might just be a best of one, it is really important to recognize that the LPL was, the expectations coming into this tournament was doubt. I heard from LPL experts that they were not super confident on the LPL coming into this tournament. But for AL to get a win over HLE and Gen.G to move to 2-0, I mean, that's got to change a lot of perspectives here at this World Championship.
It would join CFO and for AL.
And Top Esports, remember. And Top Esports sitting at 2-0, 2 LPL teams.
I'm so used to Top Esports at internationals. I just still couldn't believe it.
I mean, it's the first seed that right now, we'll see how they perform in the next matchup.
Yeah, BLG have got a lot to say. A lot to do, rather.
But perhaps it was just a forced first game jitters. We'll have to wait and see. In any case, again, just the best of one. We've seen Gen.G drop games to AL before, and I wouldn't just suddenly assume that Gen.G is not favorites in the tournament. But again, a statement performance, and it really does show AL, they were considered one of the best team fighting teams in the world before. And this game is really reminding you as to why. We're getting ready for our next objective. 47 seconds until the Elder Dragon. You can see it at the top left of your screen. Chovy going to push out that top wave. Level 17 on the rise. Death cap completed for him. The arm guard finished for Shanks. Going to be a valuable purchase. But pretty much everyone across the board. 3 items, 4 items as well for Ruler. Don't count him out just yet. He fumbled the last team fight, but so close to level 16. If he can get that third point in the ultimate. Nice juicy upgrade, that's for sure.
Tarzan makes his position known. AL hold control over this river this time. 15 seconds, the Elder's up. Flandre, another entry point guarded well. As Juro looks for his angle. For Gen.G, one team fight is all it takes at this point in the game. Canyon with a flank, but found by Tarzan. The burst, enough as well to put him to half HP.
That is all he needs to do. Now, Canyon has to make a decision. Does he fight with 50% HP, or does he choose to reset? Very nice play from Tarzan, not overcommitting. He's trying to heal on the Wolves, and he will get a decent amount of HP back.
Not all of it, but most of it. Shanks keeps sending out the poke, plenty of mana to continue on. And as you said, Hope is going to do this quick.
Canyon on his way over. The ulti, beautiful from Shanks. And how does Gen.G get in?
The timing's great. Maybe with a Realm Warp to one side of Chovy by himself. Keen jumping in first hand. KL guards the entrance, and Elder's taken. Anyone's legend. Turn for the fight. As Gen.G got to run. They might take Flandre, but with Elder, it's a buff to beat the rest. 1 for 1. Keen getting poked. The flash. KL gets close. Keen's one step away from dying, but first Canyon will go in the coffin then. Juro, as he runs away, he's getting chased up by a Gatling gun and a pair of pebbles. He'll flash out, but now with the free display missing out, you say, hey, doesn't matter. Tarzan finds another, and AL steps away from the base.
Exquisite execution once again. The ultimate from Shanks to cut Gen.G's approach off, securing the Elder Dragon and converting it into the fight. TP from Shanks, returning to the mid-wave. The TP from Kyle. They have the Nexus in their eyes. They're looking to take down the best team in the world.
It looks like Kyle has committed parricide, as Juro is just another target. Brawler was fed the hope of Gen.G, but even he is not enough. In China, AL will soar, and once again we are reminded that Tabe is the greatest LPL coach that has ever lived.
The underestimated AL came out swinging in today's matchup as they got the better of Gen.G in the most important team fights. A rivalry that continues to grow, as this is the second LPL team to go 2-0 here at Worlds.
How does he keep turning these teams around? I don't know, but the desk is going to tell us how that one burned the house down for AL's 2-0.
Well, it's cinematic moments. I doubted Raz, but he was right. It was